Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
Dr. Sangeeta Sahi is an integrative medical doctor. She's an anti-aging consultant who graduated from Christian Medical College, India, and has an MBA degree from ESSEC, Paris, France. Dr. Sangeeta is a pioneering medical physician who combines her formal medical training with a host of complementary therapies based upon biophysical and quantum physical evidence. She has created a specific program for individuals experiencing cancer and autoimmune diseases. Using her own particular integrated approach, this program is called Conscious Cancer. She is also a founder of Unified Human Foundation in the UK, a non-profit supporting NGO projects which unifies human beings with nature and through those projects with each other. Thank you so much, Dr. Sangeeta. We're so happy to have you here today. And your topic for today is our sustainable future. Over to you, ma'am. Unmute. Thank you.
Thank you, Samyukta. I just want to say it's a real honor and a delight, actually, more than anything else, to be participating in this beautiful, beautiful summit, this get-together of World United Consciousness. I don't really think that I'm going to say anything that people already do not know, especially people who are speaking in this summit. Everyone seems to be incredibly evolved and very, very open and beautiful beings, connected up with higher levels of consciousness. So I'm just going to speak from my journey and what I'm doing, and partially about why I'm doing it. So like you introduced me, I'm an integrative medical doctor, and that really means that I was very, very interested from a very young age. I come from 4 generations of medical doctors. So I was interested in the origin of disease rather than just the symptomatic relief of it. And that is what led me in my journey of all the different parts of the so-called human system. So I explored consciousness and spirituality from a very young age because I think I come from that culture. I've spent most of my life in England. I grew up there, I went to school there, but like you said, I went to medical school in India, which was absolutely the greatest gift, I think, the universe, God, consciousness could have given me. Because I got to experience and see things that I know 100% I would never have seen if I'd studied in the West. So there was that. And then I also obviously was introduced to spirituality and not spirituality, but spiritual methodology. And there is a big difference because there is a very, very specific, I would say, system of spiritual development and spiritual growth, which is very indigenous to Asia in general, because there is such a very, very ancient history of it in this area of the world. So with a sort of a dabbling in that spiritual methodology, I was very left-brained and I wanted to explore the scientific aspects of spiritual experience. And that led me into the world of quantum physics and biophysics and working with quantum physicists in America, biophysicists in UK and Europe. And I realized as I was doing all this work that we are an incredible system, the human system. And there's so many different parts to us. There is obviously seems like the very physical, mundane, atomic structures, and then the linear, I would say the 3D, third dimensional. Then there are other dimensions, other levels, the emotional, the mental, and from the mental we incorporate different levels of consciousness. And they all happen through our mind. The mind is like our interface, like we have a computer system. So the mind is like an interface that is interfacing with all these different levels of and dimensions of consciousness, which is an individual connection as well as a totality connection. Now, of course, through this system, again, it's all system, through this system, we begin to understand how we are connected to this planet, and then how this beautiful planet is connected to the solar system, and then to universe, and then to multiverses, etc., etc. And we can go on until infinity. And I thought, okay, so that means that we actually are already connected. There is nothing to disconnect us except our awareness and perception. And I started exploring and going deeper and deeper into the whys and the what fors and the purpose of this whole system, and not just the purpose of it, but why do we have this feeling and this concept of separation? And this concept of separation was not something that was for individual human beings or humanity in general. It was actually serving a purpose for the greater whole, this multiverses or whatever. And the purpose was for our own and their spiritual consciousness development. And in that development, all we're really doing is we are transitioning from one totality and wholeness, expanding into another, and then into another, and then into another. And the center of that wholeness is us, but us as this wonderful speaker, the first speaker whose recording we listened to, she describes as the essence. And this is the essence of existence, the essence of the human, but it's the essence. And that's whole. And if that essence is whole, by origin, that means everything is actually whole. Nothing is interrupted. Nothing is separated. Nothing is actually out of alignment. It just seems to be. And it seems to be because of our consciousness and perception on these different levels. So as our consciousness evolves, so does the awareness and the consciousness of alignment and of many other things, which I'm not going to go into in a 15-minute talk. But what I do want to share, which is important, is that right now, and we're all aware of it, there's nothing, like I said, I'm going to say that we are not aware of. Our planet is transitioning from one cycle of evolution into another. And we are here serving, assisting, and participating in this transition. And in that participation, or part of that participation, is for us to regain our own individual wholeness. And as we regain and reconnect with this individual wholeness, then we start to connect with a greater wholeness naturally. We don't even have to do something about it. It's not effortful. It just happens. It's automatic. I get to a certain level. Dr. Yugandhar finds out about me. He becomes conscious that I exist and what I'm doing. And he says, you know, please come, talk, be a speaker. It's natural. You don't go out looking for anything. It just happens because you reach a certain level of consciousness and connection with the whole, that life moves in that way. Okay, so I just got to notice your internet connection is unstable. I don't want to.
I can hear you, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay, good. So this is really it. And then my whole work with individuals is based on this. I help them to realign with beautiful tools into their own wholeness and reconnect with their own wholeness. But I do it in a more, let's say, a more medical way, a more physical way. I came across some very, very beautiful teachings and work by Sri Aurobindo and they had a lot of work on something that they call the supramental, which is levels of consciousness beyond the mental, the ordinary mental human level. And they named their body of work Integral Yoga. So it encompasses every part of the human system, the religions, the social systems, the mind systems, the physical systems. And this is what interested me most about their work, was they talk about the physical cells of the human body and how the cell itself is whole. And through that wholeness, you can connect with cells that are in different dimensions that are also part of your own body system, not in this particular awareness, this conscious dimension. And through that connection, we actually have the ability to transform all disease states, all physical imbalances, chemical imbalances, disharmonies. So a lot of my work, I got to know quite late, was actually based on integral yoga and their teachings, because they again followed a system. Now, what Sri Aurobindo had written about quite a lot was how we will transition as humanity from the state of ignorance into a state of the golden age. Many people are talking about the golden age. What is the golden age? The golden age is actually truth consciousness. That's it. It's where truth, transparency prevails, authenticity prevails. So we are now moving as a collective towards this state of truth consciousness. And truth consciousness is the essence of all existence, actually. Harmonious, balanced, loving, peaceful existence. So if we are going towards that state, we have to start behaving like we belong in that state of being. So what do? We come back to very simple applications of spiritual codes of conduct, spiritual methodologies, spiritual technologies. We have to apply these in our everyday lives in order to start to live naturally in that state of truth consciousness. And that's really, I have a mentorship program where I mentor. I have a business degree and I mentor CEOs through this transition, and people of influence and leaders, mainly in the West and a little bit in the East too. I mentor them through this transition of whole system approach, because through that one person and their influence and their position, they can then influence and create change and transformation within the whole organization, business, etc. So that's one of the things that I do. And then I love Dr. Yugandhar's description. Whenever it's some higher level, he says, it's higher consciousness. I got the instruction from higher consciousness. I love that. So let's just say, I'm going to borrow your words, Dr. Yugandhar. I got the instruction and guidance from higher consciousness to found this nonprofit organization called Unified Human Foundation. And as our planet is naturally transitioning, everybody who is living on this planet has to now go to here. It's non-negotiable. And if they have to transition, they have to take responsibility and gain maturity to be able to exist within the realm of truth consciousness. So in order to do that, all they have to do is really unify with the planet, because the planet is doing it anyway. It's very simple processing, believe me. So what does Unified Human Foundation do? We are a foundation in the UK and also in the US. Same foundation, where we support initiatives and projects which unify human beings with nature. Nature does all the work for us. All we have to do is take responsibility and to be custodians, to serve, to be in service, and to be in a state of receptivity and exploration. And I really believe this very strongly. One of the most divine qualities is a state of wonderment, always being in a state of curiosity and wonder, of understanding and learning new things. Because this is the only thing, I believe, that actually allows us to gain access to greater levels of wholeness, is our aspiration, our curiosity, our thirst, not just for knowledge, but also for experience, the whole experience, the cellular experience, the physical experience. This physical body is the most beautiful thing. Without it, we do not exist, believe me. So going away from it, withdrawing from it, is the exact opposite to what we actually need to do. We need to become more immersed in it, but in a more real, genuine, authentic way to understand this beautiful system. So this is what the foundation does. We have 3 platforms, which I will just very quickly describe. The first platform is new technologies, clean air, clean water, waste management, recycling, marine and aquaculture. The second platform is we work with health. That's my core competency. We work with health. And one of the things that I really enjoy working with is mental health, because it's also very, very important and topical right now with the transition of the planet and the transition of different magnetic fields. They're affecting our mental state as a whole, as a collective, very directly. Our immune systems are being affected directly, and our mental states are being affected very directly. And add to that, this wonderful access and development of new technologies is also affecting our immune systems and our mental states. So using natural remedies to be able to naturally and gracefully and gently alleviate these states and also bring the body into a natural harmony and balance. So we use systems of Ayurveda, we use nutritional nutrition, we use nutraceuticals, we use a host of different things, and also very, very importantly, basic access to alleviate anemia. And so we're definitely using pharmaceuticals as well, but basic stuff, not the hardcore pharma. And the third platform is education and awareness, obviously. And within that comes my passion of community and cultural sustainability. I've worked directly with artisans in India, in Kenya, in America, where I find, especially with the indigenous people, I know that there are quite a few speakers, and you've had a lot of speakers who come from the indigenous tribes and communities, and the level of wisdom and knowledge that they have about this planet is beyond phenomenal. It's beyond, I have no words to express what they know and what their tribes are custodians of, what they hold their lineages and their DNA. And I find that this exists everywhere, in every culture. And we need to, at least if we cannot, we need to preserve it, but we need to document it, and we need it to be shared with the younger generations that are coming through, that are maybe not aware of it because they haven't come across it, or it hasn't been communicated in a way that they find interesting, acceptable. So I'm also a documentary filmmaker, and that's one of my kind of passions, is to be able to document and listen and film these wonderful stories that they tell, their bodies tell, their genetics tells, their lineages tell and share. And that's it. That's what I do. And it's been an incredible journey. And I just want to share this last word. We will find everything here. It's all here on this planet. It's full. This planet is like a biocomputer, a very advanced biocomputer, and a spaceship. She's traveling through space with all this amazing technical information knowledge system within her, already there. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to make this transition. So all we have to do is really connect with her and understand her, and we gain everything. So all I would say is, it's the easiest thing to do. It's within our DNA to do it. It's natural to us. Otherwise, we can't live here. So let us respect her. And through that, respect each other. We are already connected. Love is already part of who and what we are and existence is. So we just need to apply it. That's it. All that is required now, in my opinion, is application. Simple, everyday application. Thank you very much. And a wonderful, wonderful greetings to everybody all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sangeeta. What a diverse work that you're doing, connecting with nature and healing people. I think it's a beautiful contribution. I just really liked it when you said it's non-negotiable to unify now. So thank you so much for such a beautiful message. A small token of our appreciation for you from our side, the best we can do on the digital platform. The World Parliament on Spirituality 3. It's a certificate of appreciation to Dr. Sangeeta Sahi for being an esteemed presenter in the 3rd edition of the World Parliament on Spirituality 2020 Asia. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
For being part of our sessions. Thank you.